Come friend, now lend me an ear, for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with he, him, and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices, 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&D, featuring Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor. One knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. 2 eyes, 4 cheeks, 2 souls on his feet, 2 hands for winning and foes to defeat, 1 tongue, 2 lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Hey everybody! I'm Victor Rivera, and welcome to D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself, and welcome to episode 18. This is fabulous. Hello, welcome. Pull up an empty seat, or whatever the theme song was. The theme song, speaking of which, was produced and performed by Bradley Owens. You can find them at Bradley Owens on Instagram. Bradley, bread, L-E-Y, Ovens. And happy DM-ber, or DM December, or Dungeon Master December. It's great to be here. There we go. And if you were paying attention to my D&Medias, you've seen a couple things going on. For example, today is day 8 of 12 days of DM-ber. So, everyone, put on your DM-ber hats. There we go. Perfect. And we're just gonna sing the first 8 stanzas. So, on the 8th day of DM-ber, my true love gave to D&Me 8 half-orc hit points, 7 shops and storefronts, 6 podcast eps, no
5 toot toot sings. 5 toot toot sings.
5 toot 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 sings. 5 toot toot sings. 5 toot toot sings. 5 toot toot sings. 4 characters, 3 were-rats, 2 vulture bros, and 1 man playing D&D. That's me. Yahoo! Well, thanks, everybody. Day 8 of DM-ber. I want to thank Tatum Spearman for writing the harmonies for me. Thank you very much, Tatum. You can find her at Tatum Studios. And yeah, that's exciting. And then I also have, I'm just going to play with the gain and the headphones some more. Okay. I also have 8 days of an advent calendar, which I have over there. So I'm not going to go get it, but there are 24 days of those. And speaking of which, actually, so part of my D&D research after the fact, y'all, I have a lot of D&D research after the fact for this episode. So the first one is I wanted to look up what the 12 days of Christmas were, because I remember looking very briefly at the Wikipedia article last week, and it says that the 12 days of Christmas are actually the 12 days that make up the Christmas season, starting with Christmas Day instead of ending Christmas Day, which I thought of for 30 years. So the 12th night is the evening of January 5th, the day before Epiphany, which traditionally marks the end of the Christmas celebrations. Who thought that the first day of Christmas was actually like the first day of Christmas instead of like prepping for the 12 days, like leading up to it, or it's the first 12 days of December? So that blew me away. And then second, because of 12th night, I, being a thespian with a BA in performance, then I made the Bard connection, but it is not known whether Shakespeare's play Twelfth Night or What You Will was written to be performed as a Twelfth Night entertainment, since we have no record of the circumstances of its composition. So that's one big old thing. 2, I looked up because last episode, I said that Toot Toot and elephants have like this moon religion. So I wanted to know more about that, where they pick up branches and wave them at the full moon and stuff. I looked it up. It's bunk. So if iScience.com debunks that claim, so that just goes to show you that not everything you read on the internet is accurate. Plus, I read like a sentence, so I didn't do any research. Well, now I am doing research out of fact. So it's still a cool thought, though. 3, non-lethal damage. Onyx almost killed Rock last episode, right at the end, so I wanted to look up the specifics of non-lethal damage, and here we go. That's page 198 in the Player's Handbook of Dungeons & Dragons. All right. Knocking a character out. Sometimes an attacker wants to incapacitate a foe rather than deal a killing blow. When an attacker reduces a creature to 0 hit points with a melee attack, the attacker can knock the creature out. The attacker can make this choice the instant the damage is dealt. The creature falls unconscious and is stable. So, yes, non-lethal damage. Unfortunately, Onyx hit Rock with negative 14 damage to his 8. So, he was actually two damage points away from maybe killing our half-orc wizard. But now I know. The more I know, the more I grow. That's insane. Okay. And then my last little bit of D&D research after the fact. Tipsy went back to the Kenku warehouse to take 4 paintings. What are these paintings of? Of Forgotten Realms cities, Luskan, Neverwinter, Silvery Moon, and Baldur's Gate. And so I decided to do research today, and there's a lot of lore about all 4 of those, as there should be. But the more research I did, the more it felt like I was comparing and contrasting Brussels, Berlin, Brazil, and Boston. So I decided not to do too deep of a dive. Also, Brazil is a country, Victor, not a city. What's another B city? Brussels, Berlin, Boston, and Bolivia is another country, probably. And, I need one more. B. A B city. Barcelona. There we go. That has an R in it also. So, Brussels, Berlin, Barcelona, and Boston. So, I decided not to do too much research. I did do some research, though. So, let me do this first. So, this is D&D. This is the Forgotten Realms. This is what is called Faerun, which is a major continent on the planet of Toril. The word Faerun is a modified version of Fairy, the name of the homeland of ancient elves. So, as you can see, it's real big. What is notably the Sword Coast is actually this thing right here. Ready? So, it's the Sword Coast, and this is only the low-res image, so I apologize. Lol, JK, it's humongous. So, let's see. I'm going to show you all Luskan and Neverwinter and Silvery Moon and Baldur's Gate. Ready? Let's go. All right. So, let's see. Where my nose is right now. Yes. That's Luskan, which is very, very small. This is a huge map, so the fact that I'm trying to do it on Twitch is pretty laughable. All right, that's a little bit better to see. Oh, I should do... Let's see. Tipsy's going to help me. Tipsy's above Toot Toot. Remember that, y'all. That's important because Almost. There we go. Tipsy. Let's see. How the top of Tipsy's hair, right there, is Luskin. All right, Luskin. Ooh, I can read it to you. Luskin is also known as the City of Sails, once a bustling city, population of 16,000, mostly humans and drow, but the city would suffer greatly at the hands of a powerful lich and archmage Arcane. The resulting disaster would allow the spell plague to nearly annihilate the city, with it having only a fraction of its former populace, 4,000 nowadays. So that was 16,000 down to 4,000, which is bonkers. Let's see, Tipsy, let's go to Neverwinter next. Okay, here we go. So, further on south down the Sword Coast, that's Neverwinter. Neverwinter, I didn't want to do a whole bunch of information on this. So, Neverwinter is also known as the Jewel of the North. Moving on, we're going to actually go inward, northeast to Silvery Moon. Top of Tipsy's hair is Silvery Moon right now. And it is called the Gem of the North. So we have a jewel and a gem of the North. And then, moving on to the last one. There's so many like Wikipedia articles and stuff about it. So there's Waterdeep right here, which is further on down south. But the last major city is Baldur's Gate, which is right here. So Baldur's Gate, also simply called the Gate, was the largest metropolis. There we go. All right, let's try that again. Baldur's Gate, also simply called the Gate, was the largest metropolis and city-state on the Sword Coast, within the greater Western Heartlands, with a population of 125,000. Perhaps the most prosperous and influential merchant city on the west coast of Faerun. And also, while I was Googling all of this, then Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter are also the names of some of the D&D digital/video games. So that's interesting, and I didn't know was happening. I didn't know D&D video games was a thing. I know Skyrim, but I know it's different. But for Twitch, I might do some of that, huh? That'd be fun. And then, whoosh, let's go up to Waterdeep a little bit to learn where we currently are. So Waterdeep, also known as the City of Splendors or the Crown of the North, we got the jewel and the gem and the crown of the North, was the most important and influential city in the North and perhaps in all Faerun. It was truly marvelous cosmopolitan city of great culture that attracted the most talented artisans, artists, and scholars from across the realms, as well as a commercial hub for financial interests along the coast and beyond. So that is where we are, and again, this is a huge map. Let's see if I can, I clicked something and that weren't it. So huge map for all of D&D, this Forgotten Realms, again, created by our friend of D&Me, Ed Greenwood. So it's a huge map full of a lot of stuff. So Tipsy, yeah, what? Get back. There we go. And then let's put you behind Onyx. Boop. Perfect. All right. Then I can get the map out of here. So what did he find there? 4 paintings. And I looked up paintings of Luskin. Well, I looked up pictures of Luskin and Neverwinter and Silvery Moon and Baldur's Gate. So whoosh, here we go. Luskin is on the top left corner. Neverwinter top right, Silvery Moon bottom left, and Baldur's Gate bottom right. So these are the cool paintings that I'm just going to say are paintings for Tipsy's paintings that he stole. And we will have a scene, not right now, but we will have a scene of who gets which painting. But I wanted you to show. So again, that is, let's see. Okay. Top left is Luskin. Oh, I can do this instead. Top left, Luskin. Top right, Neverwinter. Bottom left, Silvery Moon. And bottom right, Baldur's Gate. So, excellent. We will do that later. But the last thing before we get into our episode proper is one of our viewers brought up a very good point of when my boys will level up. And I decided that milestone-wise, in the book it's different because they section off different sections of this story for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. But I decided that the milestone of them deciding to actually stay in Waterdeep Dragon Heist and in Waterdeep and henceforth in this show, that I wanted to reward them for that. So, Tipsy is level 6. Onyx is level 4. Golly. Tipsy is level 6, Onyx is level 4, and these two over here are both level 3. So what I want to do eventually with this show is I want everyone to be at the same level. I don't want to level everyone up and then have Tipsy be level 7 and then these two be level 4. So what I'm doing is I'm just leveling up Rock and Toot Toot for level 4. So let's do that right now. Yay, number crunching. I love it. So what it means to level up to level 4 is... 1, they both get an ability score improvement. And since they're both arcane spellcasters, then they get more spells and stuff. So let me break that down. Okay, cool. D. Perfect. So let's start with Rock. Ability and score improvement. So there's three ways to do that. 1, ability scores, again, are... Well, let me get rocks. Oh, boy. Well, I already did it. Yeah, no, let me show you. Because I already did some of the work beforehand because I didn't want to spend too long on this. So, ability scores are, again, the strength score, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So, in order to increase an ability score, there are kind of 3 ways to do it when leveling up. 1 is you add 2 points to any of those 6. A second way is to add 1 point to 2 different of the ability scores. Or the third way is to not do that at all and gain a feat, F-E-A-T, where you're like, better at shooting something or better at spell casting or stuff. That's an optional rule. So I'm just doing ability scores right now because that's always my first instinct. So I went with increasing his intelligence level from 16 to 18, which changes his modifier from +3 to +4, which also changes all these. I'm glad I used my favorite color orange marker for all this because it's easier to see. So the saving throws in the middle, it goes from a +5 to a +6. So anything that needs intelligence, including his spellcasting modifier, which I will change that real quick. But all of these special skills, which is all of those, so Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. Arcana, History, Investigation, and Religion he is proficient in, so that actually goes up from 5 to 6. And then Nature he was not, so 3 to 4. He gets another hit die, which is pretty much just good for long rests. So he's level 4. 4 hit die. And he gets another cantrip. Okay, hold on a second. Spell attack bonus. I don't know. Future Victor, there's a thing about adding +1 more to Rock's magic sheet. So do that in the future, Victor. But let's see. He gets another cantrip that he knows. He learns a new cantrip. And then with a wizard, every time you gain a wizard level, you can add 2 wizard spells of your choice to your spellbook for free. So he will get 2 new spells. He will get another spell slot. So what that means is for level 2, he gets, instead of just 2 spell slots, he will get a 3rd one. So I marked that down also. Got another. And now we're going to roll for his HP because every time you level up, you get a little healthier and a little buffer. So his hit die is 4d6, so I'll use 1d6 and then roll this. This will hopefully get him out of just having 8 hit points. Oh, the song today, yeah. 8 half orc hit points. This might change that. So let's see. 2. So out of 6 options, I rolled a 2. And one of the homebrew game rules that I love is if you roll a 1 on hit points, then you re-roll again, because that's the worst feeling. But when you gain more hit points as you level up, it is whatever you roll plus your constitution modifier, which Rock has a -1. So his 2 plus a -1 is just 1. So Rock, our dear half-orc wizard, now has 9 hit points. So thanks, narrative.
You're welcome.
That's great. I will change that in everything. Future Victor, change that on the back of the limited resources with little squares. Cool. So that's perfect. We will still be very worried about the very squishy Rock. So then, Toot Toot. So Rock is now level 4. We did it. Toot Toot, level 4. I decided to split it up 2 ways. So instead of putting 2 points in his intelligence, then I gave him a +1 in constitution. So instead of a 9, it goes up to 10, and that changes the modifier from -1 to 0, which will help with his hit point roll. And then charisma, it was at 17, but I added another one, so it's 18. So instead of a +3 modifier, it's a +4 modifier, which is great because now all my boys have one very, very, very good stat. So Onyx has an 18 in strength, which is +4 modifier. Rock has an 18 intelligence, +4 modifier. Toot Toot has an 18 charisma, +4 modifier. And then Tipsy, if he is good and reads his book of manual quick action or whatever, then his 16 +3 will turn into an 18 +4. So that's, I feel, a good spread across the board. So, constitution-wise, that just changes the saving throw from a -1 to 0. Charisma saving throw, +1. And then deception, intimidation, performance, and persuasion all gain 1. So, yeah. This part I don't remember as a D&D player. So I made a little cheat sheet up here. So let's say that 15 strength. Then you can see that it is the second to the top, the 15 to 14, that's the number, and then it's a +2 modifier. So 17 and 16 is +3, 13 to 12 is +1, 11, 10, that's 0, 9 to 8, -1, 6 to 7, that's -2. I don't have a mnemonic to remember that, so I always put it right there. So, yay! And then he gains an additional hit die, so it's 4d8. Let's go fish d8 as I pontificate some more. He gets a second level 2 spell slot also. Let's see. He gains a cantrip and then another spell. And then I just roll. So here we go. He has a 0 modifier to his constitution right now, so that's good. So it won't be just a 2. That is a 2, which is a different die. So instead of 15, then my boy is now 17. That is my Toot Toot locks it on board. He has 17 hit points. Boy howdy. It feels much better to roll higher for those. But this is still fine. They were not 1s, so that's all that matters. All right, with that, let's get into our D&D recap. That was 24 minutes of spellbinding education. So D&D recap, episode 17 follows the foot of episode 15 and 16, where my party split up into halves, and Tipsy and Toot Toot returned from Tipsy's adventure with the were-rats, the almost misfortune there, and they are walking northward, and they encounter Thornin, who was the sullen dwarf in the skewer dragon who Onyx broke his arm, and Thornin ran into them with two of his baddie thugs, and then after a little confrontation on the street, then they ran into an alley, and then with a well-placed Molotov cocktail from Tipsy, and then a well-placed shatter, which caused 7 barrels and crates to act as Molotov cocktails from Toot Toot. Then that made all 3 of those bad guys unconscious. And then I, Victor, rolled off camera to see if they all lived or if they died. And I'm not going to tell you. So then after that, they went back to the Troll Skull Manor, and they met up with Rock and Onyx, to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the episode title of episode 17, of whether they try and go back to their previous lives or if this is considered a new start here in Waterdeep. And then they all agreed that they wanted to stay here. So that's what it is. And then Rock, who spent the rest of that day learning spells of Shield, and he already knew Mage Armor, but he learned Suggestion at the Bookworm's Treasure, and then he also learned Witch Bolt. He spent the magic inks and parchment to learn that off camera. And then we resume. Onyx kind of almost killed Rock in that demonstration of Shield and Mage Armor. But after a long day of side quests, then everyone went to sleep. And then we start episode 18 in Tipsy's room. The camera glides over Tipsy's desk, which has a whole bunch of scattered paper with a whole bunch of notes and scribblings on all of them. We hover over 3 bottles, still bottles with liquid inside and rags hanging out, because while he was reading the manual of quickness of action, I just want to make sure that's the manual of quickness of action. Yeah, that rolls off the tongue. He stayed up late reading some of that, and I'll roll to see how much he read. But also, while he was doing it, then you get a sense that Tipsy sitting down reading a dense book for hours on end would just about kill him. So you see that however many hours he spent reading, then he also made some more Molotov cocktails. So he has 3 new Molotov cocktails to add to his inventory, which takes away 3 empty bottles that he's probably... Let's roll to see how many hours of the manual of quickness of action he read last night. I'm going to roll a D6 and a D4, because I think, like, if he was really pushing it, like, reading for 10 hours straight is a good chunk of change, but also exhausting. But also that's the max, so he'll probably get less. And then see how much he drank also. Let's roll the D4 and the D6 first. Okay, so it's a 3 and a 2, so 5 hours of reading. So if they all turned in pretty early, then Tipsy... Yeah, this works out narratively also. Tipsy, if they turned in at 8, let's say, then 5 hours is 1 a.m., which I'm sure is actually 2 a.m. because he would stop and just go, this is so boring, and drink. Let's roll, because that's half good. So let's only roll 1d4 to see how many bottles he drank. So he drank one of his random bottles of alcohol to make the night go quicker and the reading go faster. So that's very good. And that's probably where he got the extra. Yep, because he needed one more extra empty bottle, and he had 2 in his inventory. So that one that he drank, then that was the last one he made. And so we're gliding over this desk strewn with notes and parchment and an open book that's, let's see, you need 48 hours, and he read 5 hours, so that's 43 left. What's 5 over 48? Because I like knowing how far he got. So he only read like 10.4% of that book, and he has 6 days. Well, He started at 8 p.m. So that's good to know. So I have the whole calendar here. So that's all future Victor math to figure out. But he read 5 hours so far. So that's good. And yes. So then the camera pulls out and you hear a knock at the door. And then it's toot toot. And then he waits for a response and he just hears. And so toot toot opens the door a little bit. Hey, Tipsy, he's asleep. Okay. I'm just going to I have these for him. So, Toot Toot, he'll roll a stealth check to sneak into the room to not wake up Tipsy. 11 plus 3 with a 14 and Tipsy's. Let's roll perception for Tipsy. Okay. With a natural 20 perception plus 8, then Toot Toot opens the door. Oh, he's asleep. Okay. And then he decides. And then one step. And then the very first step into Tipsy's room, then you hear of the wood underneath his foot. And then Tipsy goes, ah! Oh. Hey, Toot Toot. Oh, what's up? Oh, hey, Tipsy. I wanted to come by. I didn't mean to wake you up. I'm so sorry. I wanted to give you a potion of healing because you gave me yours yesterday, so I really appreciate that. That and then also yesterday morning you gave me these and. I was going to give them to Bonnie, but then you gave me double. So here's your 10 gold back because here you go. And so then Tipsy goes, and then he accepts a small red bottle and then some gold. He goes, oh, cool. Thanks, man. Ugh. This book is so boring. I did some cool balance and stuff about it. And like I can... go super fast now? Well, not yet, but it's telling me how I can. So, it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna pause a second for the sirens that I can hear. How are y'all doing tonight? It's interesting. Ooh, blowing up in the chat. It's interesting editing the podcast because I can hear... So yeah, the sirens are coming and they're getting louder. But I can hear the sirens come and like police sirens and I keep some of that in. But let's see. Dodie or something says, do you realize that this is episode 18? By New Year's Eve, D&Me will be able to drink legally. Hey, 21. I didn't know that. That's great. Angelito El Guapo says, yeah, 3 exclamation points. Plaid Beard redeemed 10 channel points, or what is it? What are these? Yeah, channel points. 100 channel points to highlight the message. Hey, gorgeous. Hello. Hello, Plaid Beard. Dodie or something. 6 claps. Like one of those emojis. Spruce H, Big City, USA. Angelito El Guapo. Oh, because of the B cities. I got it. Angelito El Guapo. Great harmonies in the song. Thank you. Yeah, I did that for D&Medias. I threw that up there, so thank you again, Tatum. And then Angelito El Guapo also said, 8 p.m., my bedtime. Yep. This past year, I've turned into a morning owl. Nope. A morning bird. Robin. It stinks, man. No. I have night owl in my blood. Anyways. Just regular old traffic now. So then Toot Toot hands those over, and then Tipsy like, yeah, I'm reading it. It's great. And he then Tutu goes, "Oh, I just wanted to give you that. Okay, so I'm just going to," and then he'll try and sneak out again, even though Tipsy's full on making eye contact. Good, thank you, narrative, for that gift. So with the 2 + 3, 5 stealth, then Tutu like turns around, steps on one creaky floorboard, steps on another, and then Tipsy goes, "It's just fat, just rip it, just fit, not little tears, just I need like WD-40, or since it's fantasy, like WD-2, because it's like way before modern times or whatever. Just leave so I can read some more." And then you can see like Tipsy's eyes are just like, and he's very tired already, and then he buries his face in his hand and then turns the page and then goes, "All right, so in order to, your balls are the feet." Balls. And then with that, then Tipsy is now resuming reading, and the camera follows then Toot Toot's back as he, I'll just leave. "Oh, hello, Waddles." And then he looks down in the doorway, and then the camera changes full on, goes from Toot Toot looking down, and then it travels down, and then it kind of backs up, and then you see Waddles sitting there in the doorway. And then the camera repositions so that now we're at Waddles' POV. And then, if you're playing a video game, D&Me is very video game inspired, then this is the point in the cutscene where now you can start moving around, and then you can see Waddles like turning left and turning right and then like turning around, because this episode 18, is gonna be a Waddles episode. I thought of it after last week's episode, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. So now with the rest of this cutscene, but now we can start moving around, then Waddles is like doing little circles around the doorway, and then you can just see Toot Toot's 2 very large cylindrical feet, and then you could read the bottoms because I have the subtitles on, and it's Toot Toot going, "Oh, hello, well, I just..." And you don't even see him, you just see the 2 big feet. And then the words say like, "Oh, hello, Waddles. You know what I was just thinking." And then as we like kind of scurry about, then the volume gets louder or softer the closer or further away we get from Toot Toot. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So as we control Waddles now, we go Okay. I'm going to use my red dice for Waddles to match his scarf. So, I will roll a d12 to see which direction he goes. He can go to the left, middle, or right. So, the first third, second third, third third. 8. So that's middle. Okay, great. So as we're kind of walking around, then we just go straight towards the middle of, in between Toot Toot's feet, and then you hear, and you see the feet go, "Whoa, oh," and then stomping like, "Whoa, oh, no, Waddles, no, I don't think we're there quite in the relationship yet. I appreciate that." And then we kind of just scurry through Toot Toot's legs, and then we hear the subtitle go, "Oh, well, I will see you later, Tipsy and Waddles, goodbye." And then Toot Toot leaves the room, and then we go up to the table, and then we see Tipsy up there, and then we hear a, and then we see Waddles looking down in his tummy, and then looking back up, and we're at this very low, very Shadow of the Colossus angle, where we see a big Tipsy in a big chair, and then like the desk, and so we will climb up the chair and then meet Tipsy. Oh my gosh, this is so cute and so much fun. Oh my gosh, I can picture it all in my head, and I am having a blast, and I have a lot of surprises for y'all. So we go up the chair easily. I'm not going to roll for it. So we go up, and then we see, because rats can climb. And Tipsy's just there like, and you see like he's starting the 11th percent of the book. And he doesn't look up. You just see him. You know when you try and interact with an NPC in a video game and they're programmed not to pay attention to you, or just like, oh hey Waddles. And then Tipsy doesn't look at us. He's just going through, and the longer we stay, like you hear more sound clips of, there's not even a lot of pictures in this. And he goes stuff like 42 hours and 59 minutes. 42 hours and 58 minutes. And you hear stuff going, and then Waddles will go up and like scratch on Tipsy's hand, and Tipsy goes, not now, Waddles, I'm reading. And then Waddles then can explore. Yeah, he'll do this. He'll explore the desk a little bit to see if there's any food. So I have here rat stats. This is the normal stats for a regular D&D rat, and Waddles levels up too. So this Waddles has been a level 1 rat for the whole of D&Me, and now he's going to be a level 4 rat. What does that mean? Well, he rolls for hit points also. So he has a level 2, level 3, and a level 4 to catch up on. He has a -1 constitution modifier. So actually, let's do... Cool. This will be nice. Yes. Okay. So level 2 and level 3, you get an additional something, which I'm trying to figure out. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm marinating, percolating in my head on what Tipsy's level 2 and level 3 additional features or traits are. If you have any suggestions, this is great. Put them in the chat. Let's see what fun things we get for Waddles. I also have wanted to do like community inspired features and traits. So this will be a great opportunity. Send me your best rat stats. And like that could be like actions or traits of like, well, a rat should be able to do this. So let's try and translate it through D&D mechanics. So y'all figure that out. I will be rolling 2 D4s because his hit points is 1d4 minus 1. So I'll be rolling 2 for level 2 and level 3. So 3. He, with 1 die, got more hit points than either my half-orc wizard or my Loxodon bard. He got the same amount of hit points of both of them combined. And he has another die still. Another 2 dice. So I love this game and narrative. All right, so +3 minus 1. That's level 2. Level 3. So he, as a level 1 rat, had 3 hit points. Now as a level 2 rat, he has 5. But a level 3 hit points, 4. Oh my gosh, y'all. It's so funny. So 5. So right now he has 8 hit points. And reaching level 4, he gets an ability score improvement. So I'm going to spend 1, because he has a 9 in Constitution. I'm going to give him another 1 in Constitution. So that goes up to 10, which changes that -1 modifier to 0, which will help with this next hit point roll also, which I'm sure it'll get a 4 also. And then we're going to throw 1 in Dexterity. So that'll be from an 11 to a 12, which is now a +1 instead of a +0 modifier. See how cool? I taught y'all through Rock and Toot Toot. Now we're doing it with Waddles, and it all makes sense, right? It all makes sense. So now, with his 0 Constitution modifier instead of his -1, then we'll roll for level 4 health. Y'all, D&Me is just such a perfect vehicle sometimes because he rolled another 4. he has more hit points than my half-orc wizard, which... And the hit die is a 4 instead of a 6, so, like, statistics say that rock should... But this is just the best. +4 with a 0. So, altogether, he has 3 + 2, that's 5, + 3, that's 8, + 4, he has 12 hit points. 3 more than the half-orc wizard. So, with that, and then I'll have a +2 proficiency bonus for hit die. We'll do all that later. But now with his new stats, he will do an investigation. No, he will do a perception check to see if there's any food on the desk. So he has a trait. The only trait that rats have is keen smell. So it says the rat has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on smell. What a perfect usage right off the bat. So right off the bat for this rat. A 10. What is wisdom? So just there's no modifier to that. So thank you, narrative. So that was the first one was a 10, and for this natural 20 for wisdom perception check on smell, nope. Waddles. Oh my gosh. I'm doing the thing that my parents do where it's like, hey, giving, like, calling out every other name, and Victor's the last one. So that's very funny. Sarah, Mosquito, Grita, Meow, Duncan, Winnie, David, Cook, Van, Tori, Missy Foos, Victor, you, one with the beard, come here. Great. So now it's a mini game within a mini game where we can see we can Daredevil echolocation, but it's smells, and we can go around and collect the 20 for a natural 20. The 20 crumbs that are on this desk. So we can go around and very much Batman from all the Arkham games, that echolocation. So we can and see the smells wafting up, so we can go It's very much like Pac-Man. So he eats all 20 crumbs on the desk, and then you can still hear the 42 hours and 55 minutes. And then you can still hear. And then Waddles looks down. Oh, man, I'm so hungry. All right. Tipsy's gonna do this for a couple hours. I'm gonna go find some cheese. So, now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring up the rules for tonight's game. This is called Queso Quest or Queso Quest. So, you are Waddles the rat, and you are hungry for cheese. Your owner is asleep. I didn't think Tipsy would wake up with a natural 20, so your owner is asleep, so you must explore the sprawling city of Waterdeep to find cheese. In order to get cheese, you need to recruit 3 allies, to find 2 items, to finally fight 1 baddie who is guarding cheese. Good luck! So without y'all reading too much ahead, I was inspired to write a 1-page adventure, very much like Honey Heist, or Kids on Bikes or something. So I wrote it. So we're Waddles, and we're going to explore Waterdeep to find some cheese. This is already maybe my favorite episode. So I will roll now. So we need to recruit 3 allies. Here, let me pose for the title card. Great. We will recruit 3 allies in order to find 2 items, to fight 1 baddie, in order for us to get cheese. So the first one is a list of 20 things. So 20 allies. So I will roll 3 times. One, that is a 15, which is an owl who is scared of heights. That's very good. The second roll is a 7, so a reckless daredevil squirrel, ooh, who has rat stats. So it's a very vertical adventure so far. And then 3, 2, a turtle with the stats of a lizard plus 5 AC to his armor class with 2 haste spells. So that's very interesting. We have a very dynamic physical game. Ooh, how fun. Look at that. 3 completely random rolls. Ooh, I wonder what the permutations and combinations of... Because it's 20 and then 19 and 18. Is that times or plus? I don't know. So that was a lot of potential things, and we got an owl who is scared of heights, 15, 7, a reckless daredevil squirrel, rat, and then a turtle, lizard, 5, lizard with plus 5 AC with 2 haste spells. So haste spells, to inform our audience, is haste. A 3rd level transmutation. Ew. This turtle gonna get smushed. No. 1 action, range 30 feet, but you can cast it on yourself. A shaving of licorice root is one of the material components. Duration, concentration up to 1 minute. Choose a willing creature that you can see within range, and I'm sure you can spin it on yourself. Oh, this turtle can cast it on someone else. Interesting. So that plus the daredevil squirrel and the owl who's scared of heights. So what a great dynamic, because I have 20 things that I was concocting. Amazing. Until the spell ends, the target's speed is doubled. It gains a +2 bonus to AC, your armor class. It has advantage on dexterity saving throws, and it gains an additional action on each of its turns. That action can be used only to take the attack, 1 weapon attack only, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object action. When the spell ends, the target can't move or take actions until after its next turn, as a wave of lethargy sweeps over them. Ooh, okay, so +2 to AC, advantage on dexterity saving throws, additional action, only to attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object dash. And then when the spell ends, the target can't move or take actions until after its next turn. So it'll go a whole round, so a whole 6 seconds, but then when it comes to its turn, it can't move or take actions. I would assume bonus actions also factor into that, as a wave of lethargy sweeps over them. Oh boy, that's fun. Also, let me bring up owl stats. Because all of the potential allies, what you see in bold is a creature's name that appears in bold type is a suggested stat block from D&D publications. So I won't let you read too much, but the lizard and the owl and the squirrel, well, the squirrel, I'm like, just it's a climbable rat. All of those have stats on D&D. So let's see. Owl, who is afraid of heights, but has a fly speed. What's its fly speed? Fly speed of 60. Otherwise, it has a speed of 5 feet. Flyby. The owl doesn't provoke opportunity attacks when it flies out of an enemy's reach. Ooh, that's cool. That is one. A squirrel, which is a rat, pretty much. I have the rat stats. And then lizard, because there's no official D&D stat block for a turtle. So this lizard now, it has a 10 armor class, but with a shell, then I feel that +5 is good. Okay. Well, it won't have the climb 20 feet. But the squirrel will. Neat. All right. Okay, so Waddles needs to find these 3 allies. It will. What will Waddles do? What would Waddles do? WWWD. There's another siren, which gives me time to think. When I get rich and famous, then I'm going to have my own soundproof studio. My whole house is going to be soundproof. It's going to be awesome. Because I'm a quiet guy most of the time. So, Queso Quest. Queso Quest. Yeah. Queso Quest. Let's see. So, Waddles will, first of all, logically, he would look around the Troll Skull Manor for cheese. So, I will give him another perception for outside of Tipsy's room and the desk. That's a 15. Okay, so it was a 15 and a 4. So that 15 plus 0. So Waddles climbs down off of the desk. And then you hear Tipsy, okay, bye. And then he sniffs around the rest of Tipsy's room, but he can't smell anything. I mean, he smells a lot of things, but he doesn't smell cheese. I mean, he smells Tipsy's socks and feet because they probably smell like cheese. So he goes throughout the rest of the house. He goes... He'll explore other people's rooms just so that they have a cameo in this episode. Tipsy is on the second floor. Tipsy's room is the spare room on the second floor, so he logically will go down to the first floor to the kitchen and pantry, and then he'll sniff around that. And then, even though he had a 15, then of course he can't find cheese in the first room. So he sniffs around, and there's just a bunch of crumbs and some rat droppings that weren't his. And then he goes around the whole thing. No, I don't smell. Oh, I just want cheese. And so then he goes back up to the first. He doesn't smell anything in the basement, so he's not going in the basement. He goes back up to the second floor and then to the third floor where he... What a fun little game. Waddles just walks around, and then you hear, whoa, almost stepped on you again, Waddles, as Tutu is just lumbering around. And then he just checks in on Onyx, who's just kind of still, he's sitting in his bed in his room, staring out the large bank of windows, which is cool. And then he's just sitting there silently. And then Waddles waddles up, and then Onyx looks down. Oh. And then Onyx gets a very serious, concentrated, almost constipated look on his face, and then Waddles can sense that Onyx is starting to cast Speak with Animals, but he needs to do it ritually because Onyx doesn't cast spells. And then Waddles, seeing this and not wanting to stick around for 10 minutes, kind of, and then scurries backwards and then runs out of Onyx's room. And then you hear, as he runs. And then he goes into Rock's library and study, where you can see, oh, cool. You can see Rock still kind of healing from last night when he got the absolute wind knocked out of him, and he's finishing dressing because it's morning, and he's adjusting his saddle, and he goes, oh, I need to do something about this saddle. But even better, then he sits at his desk and goes, I get to choose 2 new spells and a cantrip And so he's looking through all of his notes and, ooh, do I choose this one? Ooh, an unseen servant? No, or arcane lock? And then he's just going about all of the spells that Victor didn't need to learn this time. And then there's no cheese in here, but as Waddles observes Rock, who is excitedly like flipping through pages, haha, instead of Tipsy, who was,
Come on. Oh, there's another page?
then Waddles is looking up from this low perception and low perspective, and then he sees a scurrying on the outside of the window that Rock's desk is facing, and then you see a as a brown blur streaks up the window on the outside, and you can hear the kind of claws on the glass pane of windows as Rock is completely engaged on his own stuff. And so Waddles sees this small rodent type creature scurry up the window, and Waddles goes,
Oh, what? I need to see what that is.
and then he will climb upwards to the 4th floor, which is the attic bedroom and attic storage. And then I'm fudging in a little bit because the map doesn't exactly annotate. But, well, I could do this. Never mind. Victor is... Oh, okay, cool. So, Waddles climbs up the stairs to the 4th floor and then looks left to the attic bedroom, which is Leaf's room. And then you can see him... You can see our half-elf ghost, not at a desk, but he is rummaging through papers also, and he's excitedly scribbling a lot of details and notes and annotations on these 10 pages of parchment and then some other scraps of paper that have been out and about, and like they're blueprints, and he's he can't talk, so he just and he's kind of as excited as Rock is, but the pages are like covered in these notes, like not a square inch of space on any of the pages. And then he kind of at once, and then he gathers them all into like his arms. Like when you see a hustling and bustling nerd with pages flying out, then he stands up and then he floats towards the his doorway of his bedroom, and then looks down to see Waddles staring up at him, and then Leaf will just float right through Waddles actually, and then float through with pages kind of flattering about, and then downstairs you hear toot toot. Oh, hello, Leaf. How can I help you? So that'll be for episode 19. But then to the right is the attic storage. I should really have the map, so I'm just not staring at my desk. I could show it to y'all. I'll do it later. But for the attic storage, then Tipsy looks... Nope. Waddles looks right into the empty attic storage. And then there's a big bank of windows where he followed quick enough the other rat-like form scurrying across, just going up, and then Waddles goes,
Oh no, beans.
Interesting. Okay, because Waddles will know the layout of the Troll Skull Manor, and Victor planned for him to go up the turret peak, but he has to go back downstairs to go into Onyx room to go up to the turret peak. So instead, he's going to try and intercept this rat-like being. So he's going to head towards the window and try and open it. So how will that happen? Okay, so he'll climb up the window, And then on the little latch is, like in the middle of the window is this little like latch where you can twist it to close the windows together, and then you untwist it to let the windows come apart from each other. So Waddles will use his bite action. He only has 2 things listed under a rat stats. One is keen smell, which is the feature, and then the other one is the action, so it's bite. Because he could use his little paws, which will be cute, but this actually has dice mechanics and numerical values behind it. So a d20 plus 0 to attack. With a natural 1, narrative says that he will go up and then try and attack the little latch in the middle of the window, and that doesn't do anything. And he will this will be good. He will try and use with his little paws the latch, which his strength is a 2 instead of all the 15 numbers that we were seeing earlier, which is a -4. Are you fucking kidding me? All right. So with a 19 minus 4 of 15, then Waddles goes,
Oh, I can't use my teeth for that. That's not cheese.
and so then he takes his little cute little rat paws, and then whoop, easily the latch, and then the window opens. Right as, so the window opens, and then a blur falls downward and uses the open window. The top half of the window juts outward now, and the brown blur uses it as a ramp and goes, yeah! Wow! And then this reckless daredevil squirrel will launch sliding down the Troll Skull Manor, down just like the roof, and then falls, and then uses the window as like a launching ramp and to head out. And then Tipsy goes, oh no, and then looks out, and then the squirrel, yeah, dude, nice, falls down on this like wire, even though they don't really have like wires, or maybe a tree branch. Let's say a tree branch near the Troll Skull Man, because like I was thinking telephone wires, but they don't have those. So this squirrel lands. Dude, that was absolutely awesome. Thanks for that. And then he yells up at Waddles, and Waddles goes,
Wait, what?
yeah, man, you made that happen, right? That was totally sick. Oh, hold on. And so then the squirrel like climbs down the branch and kind of like climbs all the way up to the open window. What's up? Hey, it's good to see you. I'm Nutso. So, hey, not so fast. That's kind of my whole, it's fun. What's your name?
Oh, hello, nice to meet you. I'm Waddles.
Waddles. Nice. I just drank some energy drink, so that's what that was. What's up, little dude?
Well, I want cheese, and you look like a man who can help me get some cheese.
Sure, I was just going to do this all day, and now I have a nice little ramp, so anything, man. I love adventure. This will be super sweet. So, what do we do for cheese? Cheese is like soft nuts, right?
That's a really weird way to say it, but yeah, we can. Some cheese tastes kind of nutty, a little bit, like maybe.
All right, man, I'm sold. Let's go. What do we do?
Well, I think we need a couple more people. So, do you know anyone who can help? Because all of my people are kind of busy doing all this stuff.
Yeah. Can you follow me up to the roof?
Sure.
And then Waddles looks out to the like side of the building to go up, and then Nutso goes, yeah, like this. And then just kind of goofily 90s karate, just kind of jumps in the air and like poses and does like a kick, and like from shingle to shingle, kind of just hopping upward, and then just going up. And then Waddles looks up and then down. Waddles is, rat size, so maybe 6 inches. Now he's a buff 6 inches with, well, oh no, bad. So he's like 12 inches tall. So now he's 12 inches tall, but he's like buff instead of the plump Waddles that we saw earlier. Like now with 12 hit points instead of 3 hit points, then he's looking svelte. So, but he's 12 inches tall, and the fourth story of Troll Skull Manor and Tavern, that's a long way down. And rats don't have climb speeds. So he looks down and goes, oh no.
Nutso, I'll meet you up there in a second.
And then Nutso goes, yeah, nice. And then now Tipsy, motivated, will go downstairs to the 3rd floor, go into Onyx's room, where Onyx is still sitting on his bed looking out the bank of windows, and then sees Waddles scurrying up. Oh, and then he resumes staring at it, which resets the time on it. But then Waddles like scurries underneath the door that climbs up to the turret peak. And now what we see is we go up the spiraling staircase, and then the trapdoor opens up, and then Waddles comes out and sits on the edge comes up, and then Nutso sitting on the edge going, all right, so nice. First of all, coming up here, super sweet choice. Do you opened that big old wooden square in the floor, huh?
Oh yeah, no, that's where I live.
What?
I live in this building.
Dude. Nice. All right, but anyways, so come here, and then Nutso goes on the top like railing of it, like the little where you lean out and then contemplate over the washing visage of Waterdeep, and then Waddles climbs up there, and then on another building, a couple. You see, it's very much Crash Bandicoot now. No. It's very much not Spy Fox. Rocket Raccoon. No. What are all of these? PlayStation has a raccoon character. Let's see if I get it before chat does. Sneaky guy. PlayStation raccoon thief. Sly Cooper. There we go.
Sly Cooper.
Yes, there we go. So, in those games, then it shows like the end goal, and then it like the camera backs up and then hits all the points that you have to get in order to get over there. And Nutso goes, all right, so I have this friend who like I do all the cool like flips and shit, but she, you know, she hold on, let me put this together real quick. Doing flips and shit.
Sly Cooper.
Okay. An owl who's afraid of heights. An owl who's scared of heights. Okay, cool. So now Nutso is showing, all right, so you see that yard over there? And then points in a direction. And Waddles looks, and the camera is tight on this little garden. And there are a bunch of sculptures around it. And there are these varying sculptures of all the D&D monsters, and then one of them on the ground hops up and moves a little bit. And then this like white, is it a tawny owl, which are the small fucking adorable ones? Little desert, the smallest owls. Oh, Pigwidgeon? Was Pigwidgeon a tawny owl? These are so many animal references. How do you spell that? Pigwidgeon. I don't know how to spell Pigwidgeon. Pigwidgeon. Ooh, Pigwidgeon owl. Okay, not from the movies, no. I think which ones are the little, like, desert ones? They're probably a tawny owl. Let me know, chat. So you see this sculpture garden of little sculptures, and then you see this white tawny owl hopping up like a prairie owl, and then just kind of hopping along and / waddling. And then then Nutso's like, yeah, she, like, I love heights and jumping off of heights, but she doesn't, so we actually have to go all the way down there in order to recruit her for cheese. Yeah? Cheese. Soft nuts.
Please don't say that.
So, hey, follow me. And then Nutso, like, then jumps onto, like, a branch and then, like, spirals down this one smoke column chimney thing and then slides off that roof and then hops on all the way down. And then Waddles, let's see, would Waddles follow? Or would he go downstairs to, like, the front door and try and... No, because if he goes down to the front door, then he'll lose sight of where this garden is, because it's a fenced-in garden, so he wouldn't have the perception and perspective to see where it is, like, on ground level. So he'll nut up, Buttercup. So Waddles, good boy. Now he has a +1 dexterity now, so I want my boy to be safe, but he has more hit points than a half-orc wizard now. So he will carefully go up to the edge and look over at a branch and then roll to jump. So he'll roll dexterity. 17 +1, 18. So Waddles confidently jumps on a branch, and then the branch, like, under his weight, and then Waddle scurries up it and then kind of goes to the next one, and it's a shorter distance now between this and the spiraling down chimney. Oh boy, I'm nervous because, again, it's a very long way to fall. That's a natural one +1, so 2. So tipsy, nope. So Waddles completely whiffs the chimney. Okay. So Waddles is falling. Oh God, oh no. And then seeing then as he's, like, free falling and doing the skydiving, and then you see time slow down a little bit on a close-up of his face, and then you hear some sweet violin music, and then you see close-ups, extreme close-ups, inserts of various cheeses, so, like, a nice Gruyere and Swiss, and, like, a knife cutting through it so that, like, a cheese slice folds down, and then, like, that oh my God, did you hear that? I swallowed my own saliva because I'm making myself drool over talking very centrally about cheese, but it's a cheese wheel, but it's like they warmed it up, so someone cracked it open, and now it's like that string of cheese going down, and it's like liquid cheese. God, I want nachos now. I just want cheese. Queso Quest. So then his cheesy life is flashing before Waddle's eyes, and then Nutso goes, I got you. And so he rolled a 15 on an advantage for, like, a dexterity saving throw. So Nutso kind of grabs Waddles out of the air, and then they both together kind of plinko down that spiral chimney now. And he goes, whoa, man, you don't have like a big old foofy, your tail's not foofy at all.
No, my tail is not foofy. Yours is very foofy.
Yeah, I know. Mine helps with balance and stuff. And
Waddles goes, okay, I need a foofy tail. Good to know.
Oh, and he has a scarf, which I forgot about. That might have helped with aerial dynamics. I could have rolled advantage for that. But then Nutso goes, "Yeah, that's okay. Just follow me like this." What is? I feel like it's a character of like jumping in the air and then posing. Like it's a cartoon character of some sort. Burrowing owl. So Dodie or something says burrowing owl. Yes. That's like the small little prairie ones, desert ones, that one. And then Dodie or something says, so he's not a flying squirrel? No, not so. That would have been good. But for right now, he's just a reckless daredevil squirrel with rat stats. Plus a 20-foot climbing speed. So then Nutso goes like this. And then Waddles goes, okay. Which is so fucking cute. And then he will roll. Oh boy, that's a 6 plus 1. With advantage though, because it was going to be with advantage because he's following Nutso's. With an 8 plus a 1, so he catches the bare edge of one of the branches because it's still winter, and so like this naked branch dips and then kind of flings him up in the air. And Nutso goes, no, not like that, as Waddles is flying through the air again to try and catch another branch. That same 6. 15. Okay, cool. So with a 16, then Waddles lands and grabs another branch on the other side of the tree, and then it dips low. And now he can safely, dips all the way to the ground of the garden where this owl is. And then Nutso hop, skips, and jumps over. Wow, that was awesome. You were flying through the air with the greatest of ease. Like a man on a golden trapeze. What is it? Man on the something trapeze. And then Nutso goes, that was incredible, dude. While we're here in this garden, let's go find you something to make a foofy tail. And then Waddles goes, no. I'm just here for one thing. And that one thing is cheese. So let's find this out. And so then they go around and I'll have both of them roll perception now, because as they enter in this low, very Romeo and Juliet low sculpture garden, then they look around and they see no movement and they don't see the owl. So Nutso is purple. Oh, okay, cool. So Waddles with an 8. What's perception? Wisdom. 8 looks around and he is unfamiliar with this owl. But then Nutso is looking around and he goes, oh, dude, there she is. Well, Calliope, hey! And so then he goes over there and then she, oh, you found me. Ooh, I thought I was hiding so well. And then she kind of hops out. Hello, Nutso, how can I help you? Oh, hello, and you are... And then Waddles comes up. Hi, I'm Waddles. I want some cheese. And then Nutso says he'll help me with cheese. Oh, hoo. Isn't that fantastic? Hello. I'm Calliope. This is not so fast. Which I don't think is very funny. All right, well, there. But we will certainly help you find some cheese. What is cheese? Oh, well, it's like magic. I don't know what it's made out of. Because Waddles has a 2, so a -4 modifier for intelligence. Because he wouldn't know what cheese is made out of. He just knows it's yummy. I don't know, but it's yellow and we need to find it. We're on a mission. And then she goes, oh, well, okay. I would love to help. Let's go. And so Nutso, choice. And then he starts climbing up the fence again, and Calliope goes, oh, no. This way. And so she waddles out. And then she waddles out towards a low wooden fence, and then she kind of claws at the bottom of it and pushes it open a little bit, and then she whoop, hops out, and then Waddles follows, and then Nutso's still jumping on the fence tops, and he does a flip on the other side. Nice. And then In this garden, then Nutso comes down and lands, and he goes, Calliope, I know I told you I wouldn't steal from your garden again, but this is really important.
No, what did you do?
I got this for our little rat buddy. And then he holds up a big cattail. Just the head of it. Is that what it's called? Cattail plant. What's the head? Is it called a head? The little hot dog looking guy at the end. And he goes, just so we could put it on his tail so he can have better balance and be more like a squirrel instead of a rat. And nothing bad about being a rat, but if we're going to steal some cheese, we need action. And speaking of action, Calliope, who else do you know can help us find cheese? And then Calliope goes, who indeed, who. Let's see. How many people do we have now? 1, 2, 3. I know. And then she starts waddling quickly. We need to go and see if they are still at the racing track before going home. Quick, follow me. And then she hops down the alley, and then Nutso, man, it would be a lot faster if she uses those wings too. And then he kind of just jumps up, and both of them are kind of just down the alleyway. And Waddles goes, man, this is all gonna be worth it for some cheese. So it is 8:26 right now, and that's about an hour and a half. I'm gonna use the restroom, so enjoy my let's see, last time was commercial reel. Let's do old theatrical reel, so not my creep show material, and my mocap reel. So I'll see you all in a couple minutes. Thanks for watching.
Great. Just so you guys know, there's no group sex. Okay, fine, group sex.
No. Question! Did you melt all the weapons?
Yeah, that's how we made these cool little peace thingies.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, Civil War general, you must know how to fight?
Sure. Poverty, sexism, social injustice.
Now, from where I stand, there's only one thing we can do.
Group sex, right?
No. We'll fight then.
You'll be the first to die, but I like your enthusiasm.
You might die.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
I am looking for,
Brian, he's not here today. Sorry, we can't give that out. You could leave him a note. I think he works again next week.
Now,
We can't stay here. Why not? It isn't safe. You're overreacting. Not this time. Are you scared? Well, at least we are here together. Does anybody know we're here? Did you hear something?
5 toot toot sings. 5 toot toot sings.
5 toot 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 sings. 5 toot toot sings. 5 toot toot sings. 5 toot toot sings. Yeah. Hello, and welcome back. I'll stall for a little bit just to make sure that anyone else using the restroom comes back. All right. So for Waddles traits and features, we have a couple suggestions in the chat. Okay, Dodie or something, my mom, says enhance sniffage, which is very much in the vein of Keen Smell. I might change the title of it from Keen Smell to enhance sniffage. Dodie or something also says dexterity of paws, like picking up stuff and fine motor skills. Now that's interesting because Tipsy uses sleight of hand and thieves tools to open stuff up, but from Blades in the Dark, my character there, Robert Thingamacog, was a very tinkery guy. And Thieves' Tools is kind of tinkery, but it'd be neat to have Waddles be like a tinkerer. Angelito El Guapo says, Quest for Queso Fresco. Queso Fresco, y'all, is awesome. I love it. Oh, I'm so hungry for cheese. We didn't roll it. There's a lactose intolerant ally that we could have had, but Spencer, my roommate, wanted a shout out for lactose intolerance. So there you go. I can eat cheese great. I'm like 85% cheese. But how appropriate. Tipsy #1 fan _ says, I fucking love this. Yep. This is a very good Waddles episode already. Dodie or something says, burrowing owl. Yes. So here we go. As Waddles the rat, Nutso the squirrel, and Calliope the owl run down this alleyway, they find themselves eventually in kind of... They scurry through a crack here or there and then go down into a basement of like this warehouse. And it's dark in here and it's surprisingly warm for it being winter, water deep outside. And you hear shouts and oh yeah, and then of encouragement and frustration and people cursing each other out. And then and then Calliope, as she's leading the way, she goes, okay, so I think in order for us to have a heist for whatever cheese is, we need to get in, but also we need to get out. So what better being to have than a getaway? ... And then she gestures with a wing, and then we open up to a ledge that we can see over this racing ring with crowds on the outside of the circle, and they're all yelling, and then inside you hear the as you see these circles, these half domes running around in circles at incredible speed, and they have different primary colors on them, like a red and a yellow and a blue, a purple and a green, and then they're all running around, and then one crosses the finish line, and then you hear a roar of yeah, and then oh no, are you kidding me? And they're turtle racing. So then Calliope goes, okay, so we need to go downstairs really quickly because she peered over the edge and they're a story up, and then this owl who is scared of heights kind of teeters backwards. Oh, and then Nutso goes, oh man, if I was a lot faster, this would be awesome. And then Waddles goes, this is a lot to take in. But they find some stairs and go downstairs and avoid all of the... what a delicious complication. I am just adding... I'm adding more D20s for all of my allies coming in. So there's a good... Well, shoot. Yeah, you're a good one. Well... Hold on 2 seconds, y'all. Sorry. All right, yeah. So I'm adding another d20 for this character we're about to meet. Hold on. Okay, so they go downstairs, and then they have to roll in order to avoid more stomping, because now they immerse themselves in a crowd of humanoids, and they all very big and they all very small. So, ooh, okay. So Waddles rolled a 10 plus a 1, so that's, well, I'm sure he has proficiency to the dexterity saving throw, but he rolled an 11. Shoot. Calliope rolled a 19. What's an owl's dexterity? Oh, plus 1, so that's a 20. And then Nutso rolled a 2. So that plus a 0. So Waddles is following close behind Calliope, who's boop, 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 hopping through the crowd. And then Nutso just, like, one of the, let's say, dwarf audience members. What would they be called? Spectators. One of the dwarf spectators, like, angrily lurches backwards, tearing up a ticket, and then kicks Nutso, like, across the room. And then Nutso, being the dexterous person he is, will, like, he reaches out, and then with one of his paws he wraps it around like a pole leading up to the stairs, and then just slingshots across the room, and he ends up being fine. So then Calliope goes to right at the edge of the turtle racing ring, and then one is slowing right down with a green little ribbon wrapped around him. And Calliope goes, Dash! Hello, did you spend all of your speed to date? And then Dash goes, no, I didn't. I can still go fast. You want to watch me? And then she goes, no. And Calliope says, you just, wait, we are on a mission to get cheese. And then Nutso goes, yeah, cheese. And then Waddles goes, yes, cheese. And then Dash, who's this little box turtle, goes, oh, what's cheese? And Nutso goes, it's like soft nuts. And then Calliope goes, I imagine it's like, Waddles mentioned that it is yellow, so I'm imagining an owl pellet, but yellow, which not be appealing to most of you. You'd probably
No, it's the most magically delicious thing in the world. It's cheese. You all will love it. So we need to go get it.
And then Dash goes, all right, if it's the most magically delicious thing in the world, I'm magically fast, so that just makes sense. We should we make a quick escape now? And then Calliope goes, how many speeds do you have left? Well, I didn't win any of the matches, but I was holding back a little bit, so I think I have about 2 haste spells left. Perfect. Let's use those, but not right now, because in order for us to find cheese, we should save those. So can you leave now? And then Dash kind of looks back, and in this humanoid crowd, you see right at the edge, sitting on like these folding chairs, are 3 giant turtles, which are turtle folk. And let me actually show you. Like, this is a turtle druid mini, and then this is like an unpainted turtle thing. So they're turtle folk, they're turtle folks, but they're called turtles. And then 3 of them are sitting at the edge of the ring in folding chairs, and all 3 of them like have their arms crossed and they're like nodding off. And all 3 of them are sleeping, and one kind of donk bumps shells with another one as they lean asleep. And then Dash goes, "Oh yeah, I have plenty of time. Let's go. Actually, in order for us to do a heist, which Calliope, you're the brains, Nutso, you're the wild card. I'm the getaway, I imagine. And Waddles, you're the face." And then Waddle goes, yeah, I have a pretty good face. And, but in order for us to do a heist, we need just 2 more things. And now I can roll the find 2 items. So I need a D8 in order to find out what we're looking for. So a 7, which is a bag of holding doggy bag, and then a 4, which is a little plastic sword. So with that, also I had this in my head, and it hadn't needed to be done yet. But if I rolled the same number, then if it's even, then I subtract 1, and if it's odd, I add 1. So that if I roll a 1 and then a 1 again, then I won't subtract 1, so it'd be a 0. Or the same thing with the 20. Then if I roll 2 20s in a row, then it won't be 20 and then a 21. So it'll be a 20 and a 19, or a 1 and a 2. So just in case for the fight one baddie, if I get, well, we'll just roll once, so never mind. So we need a bag of holding doggy bag and a little plastic sword. So with this, then, This is very funny. So Dash goes, "Follow me, but slowly, because we're saving them, right?" And then Calliope goes, "Yes." And as they follow Dash to like some low little gates leading to like back rooms of this basement warehouse, then Waddles is like, "You know what? I will." And so he puts his tail in the cat's tail. So it's a rat's tail now. Oh, I didn't plan that. That's so cute. That's so good. Just in case. So they go in the back, and then it's like this very low ceiling because it's only like 16 inch. Let's see. Like 18 inches tall. So it's like this little corridor of where all the other turtles are. And they go in like this other little section, and you see a bunch of chickens preparing for their bout, whatever that is, coming up. And and then Dash goes, "Hey, Rodrigo, do you mind if we get if we check out your equipment stash for your bouts, your practices, wink, wink." And then this rooster, whose feathers on top like swoop down, and it's a very... Do roosters have the little dangly fleshy bits from the... I know turkeys do, but the way I described it... Let's see what a rooster looks like, because I don't have any idea. Yeah, what's that gross flap of skin called? I don't think I want to know. Never mind. Because I was thinking about how to describe. Okay, so that it's not a D and research later. It is called the... That's not what it's called. Is it called the Waddle? Because that's just too perfect, y'all. So for Waddle's adventure, we come up to this male chicken, And not only is his comb, which is the top kind of fleshy bits, like it's slicked over, but the red fleshy bit underneath his beak is called the wattle, with T's instead of D's, which is my boy. So with a longer than normal wattle, then Dash the turtle with 2 haste spells, Calliope, an owl who is scared of heights, and Nutso, a reckless daredevil squirrel, and Waddles, my rat protagonist, walk up to this very debonair rooster. And Dash goes, "Hey, can we look at your equipment?" And then Rodrigo, I think it was Rodrigo, right, goes, "Why, of course. What do you need for my various weaponry?" And then Dash goes, "We're on a mission to find," what is it? What? And then cheese. Whatever cheese is. We're looking for cheese. "Oh, yes, cheese, which is tiny little grain where you peck at it. Oh, it's delicious." And then Waddles goes, "No, it's even better than that." "Huh? Do you need the 4th person?"
No, I only need to recruit 3 allies.
"Okay, I think I went from Spanish to French right there. But it's fine, we are back." "Oh, well. Yes, come over here." So then Rodrigo walks through some other like chickens preparing, and you see these chickens like, oh boy, like taking the wrist wrap that boxers have and are like taping up their wings and their feet and kind of staring at my party as they go by. And then Rodrigo brings them to a weapon rack, and you see like slingshot, what's with the ball and then the little leather thing and then another ball. Yeah, it's a bunch of these. And just like in the Buzzard Bros butchery, then on one side of this weapon rack is a little plastic sword, a little plastic like axe, a little plastic mace, and these little plastic objects that you just poke in little hors d'oeuvres. So Rodrigo goes, "Take your pick. You can choose any of them you want. And because Dash, you married me and my beautiful wife, then you can choose it for free of charge." And then Dash goes, "Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Rodrigo. You're welcome." So then Waddles goes over and picks out a little plastic sword, and it's the red plastic.
And he goes, "This will be perfect. I don't know how, but it might probably be."
And so then Nutso goes, "Okay, well, we gotta go." And then Rodrigo goes, and then Dash goes, "Thank you, my friend." And then Rodrigo, "You are most welcome." I don't know this. So then they leave, and then Waddles holding this little plastic sword and his tail in a cat tail, and then he looks up at Nutso and Calliope and Dash and goes,
"Okay, so I think actually in order..."
"Oh, shit."
Okay, so in order for us to get the most amount of cheese we can, and so that all of you can try the best thing on earth, then we need a bag to get as much of it as we can. So I know just the place to get it."
So they go back to the Troll Skull Manor, and then, oh my gosh, this is very funny. Then Waddles,
"Okay, wait for me, Hugh."
Then Waddles heads up. Oh dear. If this goes poorly, y'all, then Waddles conspicuously, well, let's see how conspicuous or inconspicuous he will stealth he will stealth up to Tipsy's room, which is on the second floor, and I'll give him advantage on this because he's a sneaky small little boy. So that was a 7, which was not very good. And then a 19 plus dexterity, so 1. 19 plus 1, that's a 20. So with a 20, then Waddles, without disturbing anyone, goes up to Tipsy's room on the second floor and goes inside and then sees Tipsy going,
Oh, boy. All right.
how long would have all that taken?
Let's just say 41 hours and 59 minutes.
So then Waddles, who's staring at Tipsy, and Tipsy's not, he's just reading his book, goes over to Tipsy's magical backpack. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, okay. Let's do this instead. Well, so Waddles will say, because Waddles can speak to Tipsy. So Waddles will say,
Hey, so, can I borrow the backpack real quick for something?
and then Tipsy goes, do I need a roll for that? Yeah, let's do persuasion, which is charisma, but at advantage because Tipsy's distracted. That's a 12 and then an 8. So a 12, then let's roll for Tipsy to see. Okay, Tipsy rolled a 7 for like insight, and then Tipsy goes,
Yeah, man, whatever, just bring it back. Oh, I will. Full of cheese. Wait, what was that? Nothing, don't worry about it. Go back to your dumb book.
and then Waddles then dumps out the backpack. So all of the contents come spilling out. I'm not going to have it like break anything because there's, some stuff in there that probably will be breakable, but I don't want to deal with that right now. So all of the contents spill out, and Tipsy goes, well, shit. He stops reading and looks up.
Can you not? What are you doing? I didn't need emojis for a second. Don't worry about it. Okay. Ugh, stupid book.
And then Tipsy turns back to the book and starts reading. And then Waddles, like holding the edge of Tipsy's magical backpack, like runs back down the stairs and runs out to greet Nutso, again, just to say it all out loud. Nutso, a reckless daredevil squirrel, an owl who is scared of heights, a turtle with 2 haste spells, and throwing the little plastic sword into Tipsy's magical backpack. Then Tipsy goes, we can hold. He like uses his paw and like slaps the bag.
You can hold so much cheese in this bad boy.
And then Nutso goes, heck yeah. All right, so where are we getting cheese? And then now I will roll fight. 1 baddie. Each baddie comes with a descriptor of the final location. So 3, clockwork, a rat robot, monodrone. So then Tipsy, what the butt? I need to figure this out in 36 minutes. But excuse me while I connect all the dots. Okay, so Waddles, who is now the face of the operation, goes,
All right. So, I know a place.
and then they go around a couple blocks, and then they are in front of they are in front of this store, and this store has large windows facing out into the streets, and from the inside there's a whole bunch of candlelight, and it's amplified because of all these shiny surfaces inside, and there are shelves and shelves of all these clockwork little bits and gears turning, and shiny surfaces and mirrors and little sharp edges, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. And then and then Waddles comes up and he sniffs the bottom of the door.
Yes. Somewhere in here is a bunch of cheese, because I saw this guy go inside and he had a grilled cheese sandwich, which, let me tell you, that's just about the best thing in the world. So, I know there's a lot of cheese in here.
Okay.
So, we need to go inside and then find that cheese.
And I still have Rooster Anatomy up on this laptop down here, so I closed out of that because I didn't want to see all of those wattles. So, Tipsy on, god damn it, I keep doing it. So, Waddles on the outside with Tipsy's magical backpack, and he grabs the little plastic sword from out of it, and then he points at Nutso and goes,
Nutso, you open the door.
and then Nutso, yep, and he goes up and, like, I'll roll for it, but with a natural 1, no, he won't. So he will go up and try to kick the he will try and kick the handle of the door, but then he kind of rockets off of it and goes, oh no, it's locked, and then into snow on the other side of the door. And then Waddles goes,
damn it. So, that's not good. Here, I opened a window earlier, so I know how to do it. You.
And then he points at Dash.
You're the bottom.
And then he points at Calliope.
You get on top of him, and then I climb up your shoulders.
And so then all three of them make to this little pyramid, and then Tipsy then with the little plastic sword, he will stick it in the handle in the lock, and then he will try and to open the door. And I'll give advantage on this because I want it to work. So that's a 15, which is very good, plus 1, and a 5. So 16, then the little plastic sword inside the door handle, and then Waddles, like, you hear a click, and then Waddles turns to look at the others, and with a smirk, then he, like, leans back, and then with his elbow, like, pushes down on the handle, and then it opens up. And then all of them go inside, and you go inside the building, and you hear just a whole bunch of, like, clicking and whirring and just, like, lots of motion in here. And they will Waddles, with his keen smell or enhanced sniffing, I believe. Let me relook at that. Enhanced sniffage will not with a 2 and not with a natural 1. So he tries to sniff around for the cheese, and he goes,
no, I keep smelling like oil and turtle farts.
And then Dash goes, sorry. And then he will
go, okay, we need to split up. Nutso, you go high. Calliope, You go medium. Can you go medium? I don't like it. Oh, I don't prefer it, but I will. I will try for you, Tipsy. You. And then Dash, you stay low on the ground because if we need it, then you jet us out of here, okay? And then Dash goes, I got it. I will be super fast. Not the time. Let's go. And so Nutso climbs up, and then Calliope kind of starts climbing up shelves going, ooh, ooh. And then Dash starts keeping low to the ground and breaking up. And then Waddles goes through. So video game wise, he dismisses them, and then they like go off camera. And then you see Waddles in the center of the screen, and then you see deep in the background like Nutso jumping from like the top of one shelf to the top of another. And you see Calliope climbing from a second shelf like up to the third shelf up, and she's whoa, like keeping more towards the middle of a shelf and then walking forward and like not looking down. And then you see Dash like dunk, 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 position himself under a desk, and then you hear some keys jingle. Where are my keys? That's not a good question to have in the middle of a... Where are my ding ding? Oh, they're in the other room. So you hear a set of keys jingle. And then Tipsy looks up. Nope. And then Waddles looks up. Oh no, he's home. And then you flash outside to a halfling with wild, stringy, wiry white hair, short stature, these like brown/gold overalls, and he's reaching up to unlock it, and he goes, "Oh well, I didn't know that. I already unlocked it. Now here we go." And so then he goes in, and then Robert Thingamacog, halfling tinkerer, enters into his store called Whatchamacallit. And then he looks around. Huh. That's a little bit less squeak. Wait, what was Thingama? Oh, that was a little less noise than I'm used to. And then he looks around, and Waddles at this point is up against like the side of the shelves, and you see Nutso like duck down, and then Calliope, she tries to hide, but she falls into like ooh, and then she falls into like this little basket on some train tracks, and just like a mine, like a coal mine adventure now, then she tumbles in, and then it like sets it onto the track, and then she is rocketed around the room on these like little tracks all around, and it goes high like up on the ceiling, and she goes no as she's going around, and then Nutso, oh no, I need to get him, oh Calliope, and then and then Dash goes, all right. With this, okay, so Thingama now looking up goes, what the? And then sees one of the little race cars going around with an owl screeching and hooting on the inside, and then a squirrel jumping frantically afterwards. And then Thingama goes, oh, and then is walking forward and reaching for something in his pocket, and then Dash goes, not on my watch. And then he like, you see him flash with green, and then with a haste spell, then he like zooms out to right where Thingama is stepping, and then Thingama steps on the turtle shell instead, and then whoa, flies backwards. And then Nutso
Yeah, Nutso sees the keys fly out of his hands, and then Nutso is taking a second to look at Calliope, who is like closing her eyes really hard and like bracing herself up against the inside of the cart, and these keys, which are flying through the air right now, slow motion. And then he goes, man, not worth it. And then he jumps after Calliope to slow her down, because now she's right at the ceiling and she's but as the keys are floating through the air, then Tipsy, with his cat tail on his rat tail, jumps through the air, and I will roll for awesome dexterity. 15 plus 1, which is very good. 16. Oh, that was almost a natural 20, and then went dunk 8. So with a 16, Waddles now jumps through the air and like self-corrects as he flies through, and with the cattail absorbing the air dynamic around it, so he is like, then he grabs the keys and then like clatters on this very messy desk with a whole bunch of nuts and bolts and tools all around it, and then Thingama falling backwards, and then falls, and then it lands on the ground, and then Dash, who is still hasted for like a minute, he has to be concentrated, goes, I got you, Calliope, jump. And then Calliope goes, oh no way, no, I'm not doing that. And then Nutso, I got you, my love. And then Calliope looks up at Nutso, and then, okay, for you. And then she stands up and then grabs on, how is this gonna work? Yeah, she grabs onto Nutso, and then like onto his back, and then Nutso jumps off the tracks and then falls through the air. But they're heading straight for some more shelves and like these very sharp implements and tools sticking out of him. And he goes, oh no. Oh, and then he looks back, and then like his tail is actually like tucked between him and Calliope. And then he looks up at Calliope. Oh, we're going to crash. And then Calliope goes, no, we're not. And then she grabs onto Nutso's sides with her claws, with her talons, and then her wings open up for the first time, and then they like avoid this sharp shelf, and then Nutso looks up, wow, and then she she's falling quickly because of the additional weight of Nutso, but then Dash is there to catch her at the bottom. And so all three of them kind of skitter out, like collapse and then fall over themselves into like underneath one of the safe shelves. And then they're all, wait, but what about Waddles? And so then they all three look up at the desk now with Tipsy holding the keys, and with his little plastic sword in one hand and the strap of Tipsy's magical backpack behind him, dragging this kind of ridiculously big satchel behind him. He looks up at this safe box that is on the other side of the desk, and it has all the filigree and it gilded like design of nuts and bolts and like clockwork and all the cool steampunky stuff. And he holds the keys and goes, cheese. And then he puts the keys into the safe box and opens it, and then opens it up, and then inside you see it's dark except for the other side of the safe just because, in the back of the safe, and as we get into the safe, it gets bigger on the inside. So in the very back of the safe, you see light pouring down, lit overhead, and it is this mountain of cheese, every type of cheese, cheddar, Swiss, a third type of cheese, Gruyere, queso fresco, just a whole bunch of cheese in this safe box, which is also an ice box. So lined inside the safe box is like the dry ice that's billowing down and causing this really cool atmospheric fog. So the back is lit. In the middle of the the safe is this pedestal with a plate on it and a grilled cheese that's perfectly lit from above. And then you just hear the ah of angels as Tipsy looks up and then goes, yes. And then in the darkness, because the front half of the safe box is not lit, and in the darkness you hear and then two golden eyes, these beams of light turn on, and then they rise up above Tipsy, and then the front half of the safe box lights, and then ahead of you you see this rat robot. It's very Mechagodzilla. It's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. And Tipsy goes, not today, SA. And both of them will roll. Rat robot. This is so funny. 9-12. I have 20. No, I don't. I have 18 minutes. Okay, hold on a second. I need to roll a couple more things, sorry. Okay, so Waddles will roll for initiative. That is a 6. Not great. Plus, is it plus dexterity? Nope. No, it is, I think. Plus dexterity, so 7. And then Rat Robot. Oh, that's a 17. So let me also bring up the Rat Robot has the stats of a mono drone, which I've never seen in any of my D&D shows yet, but it is pretty much this small little robot that's like a golf ball with one eye, a little Mike Wazowski, and has like 2 spindly legs and 2 spindly arms, but that is not what anyways, the rat robot is a rat robot. So in this safe box, we have the plate of grilled cheese, the pile of cheese, the rat robot on the side in the corner, Waddles at the beginning, and the rat robot went first with a 17. Okay. So the rat robot will swipe at will swipe at Tipsy using its dagger action, but it's just sharp claws. So that is a 16 plus 3 to hit. Yep. Waddle's arm class is only 10, so it is 1d4 plus 1 piercing damage. So 3 damage to Waddles. So instead of 12, he's down to 3, which would have taken Rock out. And then Waddles looks up, and he has a plastic sword in one hand, and he has a bite action. Let's see. when else can you kind of sword fight? 2 rats, one of them's a robot, one of them's sword fighting. Yeah, let's do a sword fight. So a sword is a melee weapon attack plus like 2 to hit. Why not? 11 plus 2. Yes, that does hit. So, let's see. His will be a 1d4 plus 1, which is 5. So, rat robot. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So, the rat robot powers up and then steps out of the shadows and then rakes its sharp metallic claws against Waddles, and Waddles, oh no! And Waddles retaliates with like a kind of parry, and then slashes the rat robot, and one of its arms, the little plastic sword, severs like this like little gas line onto the rat robot's like left arm, and then scatters it, and then it kind of bursts, and some, oh, that's interesting. Now some grease, it has met, like, splashes down on the ground around the pedestal, so that'll be a little rough terrain, difficult terrain right there, with some grease. And then it is back up to the top of the order. Would they do anything else? Like movement or bonus action? Waddles doesn't really have a bonus action, so the rat robot will attack him again. That is a 10. Yep. Which does meet his armor class plus something, but that'll be another claw strike. Yeah, it'll be another claw strike. So that'll be 4. 4 plus 1, so 5. So now Waddles is down to 4 health. And then again, that, like, the left arm is now like limp to the rat robot side, and so it swipes the other way across Waddles' chest, and Waddles cries out, "Ah!" And then you hear, and then Dash comes skittering into the safe room, slips on some of the grease, and so does a sick, like, Tokyo drift around, with Calliope and Nutso on his back, and he goes, "No, I got you." And then a lizard attacks with a bite attack, so Dash skid up right next to the rat robot and takes a bite. With a 15 plus 0, that's great. So that's 1 piercing damage. And then, like a snapping turtle, then Dash crunches onto the left leg, the rat robot's left leg, and then the rat robot's neck like snaps down towards this triangular mouth, going quickly on its leg. And then Calliope, who rolled next with the 10. So now the initiative, well, no, I didn't. So Calliope now, oh, cool. I like this a lot. So Calliope launches up off of Dash's back, and then flies over to the right side, and grabs with her talons onto the rat robot's right arm and starts pulling. So a talon attack is 10 plus 3 to hit, which is 13. So that'll be one slashing damage. So it's down to 3. And then Nutso, really this did work out where it's Rat Robot 17 initiative, Dash 14, Calliope 10, and then Nutso 5. Well, actually, technically Thingama is 6. So you hear from behind like Thingama, what the heck? And then he gets up and starts like, he uses half his movement to get up and then uses the other half to walk towards the safe. And you can hear, well, where are my keys? And then Nutso goes, Waddles, I think you can finish this off. And then he runs to the back of the safe house and climbs up this mountain of cheese. Woo, woo, woo. And then at the top, he like launches himself and turns around, woo, and then slides down this mountain of cheese, and then comes out with a kick to the rat robot's back, which that's something. That's 13 though. I rolled literally a 13. So I will say that's another point. I'll say that's 2 points of damage, of kicking damage. So that 3 turns into a 1. Rat Robot has 1 hit point left. And then Tipsy, nope. And then Waddles with his little plastic red sword points it at the Rat Robot and goes, I'm gonna take a picture to remember this forever. So say cheese. And then because all 3 of his allies are right there kind of pulling the rat robot apart, then the rat robot, the sword like severs all of the wires keeping the rat robot's head on, and then it pops off, and then like a shower of sparks come out of the rat robot, and then you still hear Thingama going behind them, and then Waddles looks back and goes, we need to go right now. Get all that cheese into this bag. And then Nutso goes, oh, that was all cheese? Ew, it's slimy. And no, it's fine. And so they all stuff all the cheese in the bag, including the grilled cheese, and then they hop on Dash's back, who's still hasted, and then like this turtle launches out of this safe box, knocking Thingama over again because he hits him in the chest. What a day! Thingama collapses on the ground. And then the turtle with 2 haste spells, the reckless daredevil squirrel, and an owl who is scared of heights, along with a protagonist rat with a bag of holding doggy bag filled with cheese and a grilled cheese, and is pointing forward, crossing the Delaware, a little plastic red sword as they zoom out of this clockwork store, having defeated a rat robot, into the snowy streets of Waterdeep, just as lunch begins all around this city. And then the last little scene is them a little tucked away from the Troll Skull Manor entrance, and all of them are sitting around. The bag is open, and all of them are eating these cheese cubes. And so Dash and Nutso and Calliope are eating these cheese cubes, and then Tipsy is eating this delicious-looking, perfectly brown, crisp grilled cheese sandwich that just the cheese is dripping off. And he goes, this was a good Queso Quest. And he looks into the camera, and then they go, cheese is really good. And he goes, oh, I know. And then that's it. That's Queso Quest. Amazing. That was high octane the whole way through. That was delightful. What a silly little thing. That was cool that I could weave a story out of these random elements. Huh? Last 5 minutes here. Spruce H goes, I always just imagine Turtles as the weird turtle guy from Master of Disguise. The Dana Carvey, turtle. Yeah. I have a great turtle in my other game whose name is Terry, and he's the owner of the Turtle Tavern, and he's great. Dodie or something says, nice thing, I'm a cameo. Thank you. Tipsy #1 fan _ says, oh, it's a love story now. Bravo! 2 exclamation points in all caps. So thank you very much for joining me. My name is Victor Rivera. This was D&Me Adventures, where I play D&D with myself. And I am going to throw up Queso Quest, a 1-page RPG, up on social medias tomorrow. So you can play it at home, doing 5e, which is a 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, or, whatever, however you want to do it. It's a cute little thing. Yeah. Let's see, where's my ding-dong outro? I stream on Wednesday nights on Twitch at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I upload the video the following morning, Thursdays, on my YouTube page. Today's show will be up tomorrow, Thursday, December 9th, and next week's episode will be live Wednesday, December 15th. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and in podcast form, and a bunch of other stuff. Where? On my Linktree. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures, N like gnome, or N like nutso. And I roll to see... Get out of here. I roll to see which of my characters gives tonight's outro. I will give it instead to Waddles. So, Waddles, how do you want to end tonight's episode?
Well, I got the keys. I had my own episode in an eventual. We'll see what happens in Queso Quest 2.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, that's great. Anything else?
Good night. Working on the 90s.
That's a 30 Rock joke. So, good night. Thank you very much.